Ah, hello and welcome to this week's See You Next Thursday. It's been an interesting weekend. In Turkish footy, you've got Ankara Gucu president Faruk Koka punching a ref, knocking him to the ground, and then others laid into him while he was on the ground. So Turkey have suspended all football. In the entirety of Greek sport is now going to take place behind closed doors due to the violence in the stands. And in Belgium, Club Brugge are calling for a replay for their game against KV Mechelen after their game ended 0-0 because a goal was wrongly ruled out by a VAR error that was eerily similar to the one that ruled out the goal by Luis Diaz for Liverpool against Spurs. Club Brugge said Club Brugge can accept that a human error happens on the field. However, this is not a matter of human error, but of a professional technical error. The VAR was created to remove human errors from the match in match-defining phases through technical aids. If the VAR makes such a match-defining error that cannot be interpreted, this must be regarded as a professional and technical error, and if necessary, the match must be replayed, which is pretty much what Klopp said. Really, isn't it? It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, and I still think he had a point, even though it's never going to happen. But yeah, and apart from that, of course, was obviously we're missing Seamus Lekender this week because he's obviously far too busy to make it when Man United are on such a bad run. He's gone into hiding, unfortunately. So it's just myself, Ed 1, and of course, the main man, Sport Billy, at 25. How are you, Bill?
I'm good, thanks, Trish, and anyone listening.
I bet you are. So it's been a good weekend for them, hasn't it?
It's been a good month, actually, for them. We've done okay. Everton are doing fine by me, mate. Got out of the relegation spots for now. And doing quite well. I'm playing quite well as well, to be fair.
I did tell you that punishment, 10 points deduction, isn't a punishment at all, because it's not going to affect you at all, is it? You know, it's...
Well, you don't know. Some of them are picking up at the bottom, actually. Some of them are getting a few decent results, but I'm still quite confident that we'll get out of it.
Yeah, how easy you're strolling away from it, sadly. It'd be more fun if you weren't tweeting. No, actually, I'd take that back because I'd be doing the fucking podcast on my own because you and Deeps would be going hiding if that
happened. That was a terrible thing that happened in Turkey, though, wasn't it? Wasn't that disgusting? You know, for football-wise. Absolutely astonishing, as you say.
But this has been coming. Do you remember a few years back, one of the club presidents, I can't remember which club it was, he walked on the field with a gun in his belt to argue with the referee. So, this isn't something that's a surprise, and it shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. This is something that's been in the works for a long time, and something needs to be done about the problems there. But of course,
you know what? For me, it all started with Man United, and I'm not just picking on United here. But when they used to surround the referee, Roy Keane and all them, in his face and pushing him, which did happen. He were getting pushed and all that. It's a direct result of that. The referees have got no respect by the players whatsoever. Show no respect for the players. Doesn't happen in rugby or Aussie rules football or anything like that where they're all big grocks. It's happening in football now, and it's just totally out of order.
To be fair to Man United, I'd just like to point out it was before Man United. It is Alex Ferguson, must be said, Alex Ferguson, but he brought it in when he was managing Aberdeen because he said it was the only way to get parity of decisions when he's playing against the old firm by having the players constantly in the referee's face, constantly arguing on every decision and fighting with him over everything. And that's how it started. And it's just got weird.
I can only think back to United myself, because they used to surround the referee and put him under terrible pressure. And that's where I've seen it from.
Yeah, that was where Ferguson brought it with him when he came. I mean, he said it was just to equalise the decisions in Scotland, but that doesn't explain why he carried on doing it when he got to England, does it?
No.
It's cheating. Let's be honest. It is cheating to do that. Because that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
He's deliberately
it is.
putting pressure on referees to get decisions in his favour.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, so sadly it became the norm. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no.
I don't know if it is a direct result of that in Turkey though, because I think they've had problems for a long time, and
Yeah, they have, yeah. And it probably goes to Italy because their behaviour is terrible as well. The footballers' behaviour is terrible. So it doesn't surprise me that it's happened, although it still comes as a shock. It doesn't surprise me over the way it's been going with decisions and players surrounding the referee, fourth officials getting abused by managers all the time. And, you know, it was bound to come off sometime where someone overstepped the mark. But that's terribly overstepping the mark, what happened in Turkey there.
yeah, I mean they were giving him a kicking on the ground basically, weren't they?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing. I mean that's.
I know. He's got to be signed, that fella. I mean, I know he's resigned now, but he's got to be signed. He can't come back into football after that.
No, that's it. It's got to be the end of your career in football, hasn't it?
It always is was an amateur football. You know, if you hit the referee or touch the referee, you know, you were signed, and you'd never play sport in a league again in Merseyside anyway.
Yeah, that's how it should be. It should always be like that. Shouldn't that? There's no need to either. I mean, it's not going to change anything. It's after the game's gone. But did you see it in Brazil a few weeks ago where they actually chased the VAR? You know, broke into the VAR room. Do you remember?
No, I didn't see that first.
For the technical officials for if off the top of my head, I think it was Corinthians, but I could be wrong. But anyway, one of the Brazilian sides, they were literally ran into the VAR, you know, inside the stadium, ran up to and started kicking the door down and that to try and get to them. And it was like a riot inside there, inside the corridors of the stadium, like mini riot where all these people, the officials from this club were trying to be stopped.
Yeah, it's terrible, and it is terrible. It's ruining the game. Absolutely ruining the game.
There's just no need for it. I mean, you know, if you can't take losing it, you've got to lose as well as win. You know.
Yeah, it's so extreme though what they've done there. It's just totally wrong.
Fortunately, you've got just as many bad winners as you have losers as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
You can't even win with grace. I mean, look at the way Pep Guardiola last season in Tsimikas' face, screaming in his face after they scored against Liverpool.
I see it down in there as they go back at him. This when they played last week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you know, what's wrong with you? You know, why would you do that if you're Pep Guardiola? What have you got to gain? You just look like a complete twat at the end of the day. I mean, I know he is one, but you know, how many of his titles just come from paying off referees and that? We'll never know, but I don't believe any of them didn't, because he's paid off referees everywhere else, so why would he not be doing it here? But yeah, well, you do. It's sad though, because you know, just without the officials, we haven't got a game.
No, exactly. And who's going to come into the game? Young up and coming referees when that's happening, you know, in world football. And, you know, they're the future, the young ones coming in, and they're going to turn the nose up and say, why would I do that? Yeah, you know, getting abused for 90 minutes every week.
It's hard
it's just more on.
It's hard enough to get people to go into refereeing as it is.
Yeah.
It's the last thing they need.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
Yeah, I don't know where they go from it, how they can. I mean, even if they, you know, punish him heavily, I mean, we've seen attacks on referees are going up as we've seen, so. Yeah.
But I see it in amateur football when I go and watch likes of South Liverpool, and I go and
And
watch some kids
Everton,
games now and again. And you see the people, and you see the people on the line absolutely berating and swearing at the referee. It's scandalous, you know what happens. Honest to God,
kids football
absolutely
as
scandalous.
well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, kids football. The
astonishing how
parents, honest to God.
yeah. And they don't show support for their kids at all. They're just abusing officials. It's like, what the hell's
Yeah.
wrong here?
I know. Yeah, I thought some refereeing years ago. I used to do the kids league under 10s, under 12s, under 14s on a Sunday in Botanic Park, and yeah, and I done some refereeing, and it was ridiculous the abuse you used to get. I only done it for just over a season. I done it. I'm going back about 20 years ago, and people on the line, the parents of the kids were absolutely incredibly badly behaved. It's no wonder that the kids, you know, are doing this sort of thing when they're brought up with it, you know. Just totally wrong.
Yeah, I'm surprised you lasted a whole season, to be honest.
I done 1 season and about 4 games, and after the 4th game of the 2nd season, I only done it for the kids' footy, you know, with the youth clubs and that I used to be associated with. And yeah, and it just got to the point where I wanted to get out, and I said, I'm not refereeing no more, and I didn't. It was just horrible. I think you got about £6 then to referee the game, and going back 20 odd years, nearly 30 years. And yeah, it was £6 for referee, and it just wasn't worth doing it, even though I didn't do it for the money. I done it for the kids' footy. But the abuse was terrible. It's just not a nice situation to be in. So how professional referees put up with it? You know, you've got to start booking people and sending people off more, right? For me, it would behave badly towards them, you know?
So £6 when you were young, right? So
yeah.
That'd be worth about 6 billion now, then, wouldn't it?
I don't think so.
Well,
not far off
at
it,
least
though.
500 years later, like. I didn't even know they had referees in football in those days. There you go, something we learned.
Oh, yes, you did.
Oh,
I'm not that old, you know. It's a fallacy that I'm not old.
It's just you just had a hard life, uphill paper round.
I really hard life, just.
You've been married a long time, right?
Haven't I just, yeah? Haven't I just?
Yeah, that'll age anyone. She's not listening, is she? By the way.
Should we go on to the games of last week, Chris?
Yes, we'll start with the early kick-off then. As per usual, of course, it was Liverpool in the early kick-off because we're always the fucking early kick-off.
14th game, wasn't it? Or 14th or 15th game? They've been early?
Yeah. And they're always the crappiest games as well. They're always terrible.
Yeah.
Because there's no atmosphere. You know, even at this is Crystal Palace, who normally the one thing you can't complain. I don't like the Palace fans. I've got to be honest. As I had a lot of friends who worked at Charlton, and I used to go along there quite a bit. Not like I didn't go along to watch the games. I went along because my mates were there. You know what I mean? But the Palace fans were horrible. That was when they rat Selhurst Park, you see, when they were based at Selhurst Park. I used to go quite a bit there, and they were horrible people, really were. They were really nasty about them, you know, a lot of nasty jabs. So I'm not a big fan, but you've got to say their fans usually make a fantastic atmosphere. They really they get
very local.
But they were really quiet against Liverpool. It was awful. It was it's the early kick-off. It doesn't matter who's playing. The games are just terrible. The atmosphere is not there. The intensity is not there. And the football's just awful. Well, Liverpool, for the first 75 minutes or so, were just fucking awful. Oh, it was one of the worst performances I've seen since Klopp's taken Chelsea.
First half was terrible. First half was really poor. But Liverpool got away with it, didn't they? I think, you know, they won 2-1. They deserved to win, of course. But few contentious decisions, the 2 penalties. One was given.
I don't think
Go
they
on,
were
mate.
contentious. I was going to just say I think they were the right decision. The only question was about the length of time that was taken for the decisions. I mean, they were clear. The shove on Endo was as
Yeah.
blatant as you're going to see, and it wasn't the first
Yeah.
either. That's the astonishing thing, is the referee's 2
But
yards away from
the
each
referee was
one.
right by him. He was right by him,
Yeah.
right behind him. And you can't see a shove then. He shouldn't be refereeing, really, should he?
No,
Because
well, he's
that
shit.
was
We
the
know
most
he's
blatant.
shit.
You
It
know,
all,
that was it. That's an awful decision. That shouldn't have gone to. Yeah, it should have never got near the penalty spot.
exactly.
That's all.
I,
Yeah.
I
And
don't
then the
know.
other one was that really a penalty for Palace.
Well, you
It was
know,
very contentious that for me.
I don't. I
You know,
think
whether
it,
he made that much contact.
yeah, but I think once you know, the thing is, it shouldn't have needed to go to VAR because it should either be the decision of the referee or not bother because it's not clear and obvious either way. If the referee gives it, I'm fine with that. That's one of those where I can't tell whether he actually made contact or not for definite. I think it was, and you know, if it was my opinion, I'd say that's a penalty, yeah. And I've got no problem with, but like you know, if the referee had turned around and said not giving it, then fine, just get on with the game. But if he gives it, then fine, it's a penalty. I'm not got an argument either way. You know what I mean? And that's how VAR should have looked at it. But instead, they took an hour and a half. The game had moved on to about 14 phases. I mean, at least stop it so nobody because someone could have got hurt in that phase of play.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but how do they take all this time to do all this? But they still last week they didn't see the McAllister, the assault on McAllister that nearly cut open his knee to the
It
bone.
got open, isn't it? Yeah,
To the bone.
some stitches, yeah.
It's gone through to the bone. That's why it's so long out. Because a stud went into the bone and damaged his bones. That's how bad it is. It was a properly, but I mean, I said in the review at the time, I don't understand how that was not even a card. That's a red all day long. It's an assault. How that, you know, when you look at the Curtis Jones one and that, and you're thinking, well, you know, they deliberately set up the image to make it look bad before they, you know, for the referee on that one. How did they not see the McAllister one? But anyway, that's nothing to do with this one. Sorry, I'm get on my soapbox. the Crystal Palace game, Liverpool were fucking awful. We were terrible. We didn't.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we changed away from that stupid inverted fullback system and put a flat back four in place and go with width. And okay, it's hard to tell whether that would have helped because obviously they were down to 10 men. So, you know, is that because they were down to 10 men, or is it because we went to a flat back four? But I think it's pretty obvious. We've conceded the first goal in almost every game we've played this season. Every game this season when we've conceded the first goal, we've been playing that stupid inverted fullback system and gone behind. Every time. So,
you've got only a few this season, Tris, haven't you? You know, where it could have gone the other way, the games, you know. I'm talking about in the last, say, 4-6 weeks.
Yeah, we've
been... You know, Liverpool, you've been playing great, but you've got the results, haven't you? That's in the end, that's the main thing, isn't it? You come away with these results. The Fulham game, you could say, you know, they left it very late. But it shows the fitness of the players, I suppose, because they're scoring late. And, you know, you're out winning.
But I just think, you know, if we get rid of this stupid inverted fullback system, would we be losing in the you know, would we be behind to need to worry about, you know, winning? Would it be a stroll? Because I think.
But you play Trent. You play Trent in midfield, or do you play him a fullback? Where'd you play him?
Midfield. Definitely.
Right, because he's been doing well in midfield. Like I'm not his biggest fan. Well, I'm a fan, of course, but he has been doing well. I must admit, he's a big, massive threat in midfield.
I no problem with him playing fullback if you're playing a proper flat back four and he's playing wide. And then he's 30 yards further up the pitch, so when he's picking up the ball, he's not picking it up in the like on the edge of our own box. He's picking it up 30 yards up the pitch. That's fine. I've got no problem with that, but I'd just prefer to see Bradley playing there. Now
Mm.
he's coming back fit. I really want to see him getting into the team and playing there. Play Trent in midfield. We got Gomez as an extra backup, and he can also cover. Then he's free to cover centre back because obviously Matip's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, not that I'm saying that that's a big loss because I'm not his biggest fan as you know.
No.
As a defender, I just don't rate him. I don't think he's very good, but he's a lovely guy, and he's great around the club. But I don't want him, not in the team. Keep him out of the team, please. It's a shame he's got injured, and it's ended like that. But I'm hoping that we won't be renewing his contract and he won't be back for us. That's sadly for
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
the way it's ended, and sadly for the club. I'd much rather he went out on a high, lifting the trophy at the end of the season. Last game of the season, yeah, no. Oh well. Hopefully, yeah. Bob Bradley, I'd like to see playing at right back, and he's really good. I really like him.
I haven't seen much of him, I must admit. I haven't seen much of Bradley.
And he was last season. He was Bolton Wanderers Player of the Year, playing at right back. Right.
Yeah,
Back.
yeah, I heard he was, yeah. But I don't know why the step up's a bit much for the Premiership to Championship. But I've heard good things about him. But as I say, I've never really seen that much of him because I don't watch much Championship football.
I think they were in League One, weren't they?
Oh, wait, in League One was, sorry, I thought it was.
But I don't see that as an
Yeah,
issue.
I think it is,
He
yeah.
never stopped Kane. He played better in it. He played terrible in the Championship and League One. Couldn't cope with him. And then look at him when he got in the Premier League. I don't think that it's actually relevant. It's a totally different. It's almost a different game. You don't need to have the quality on the ball. You know what I mean? When you're playing in League One, often because you don't have the time to show quality.
Well, maybe he'll come through. Maybe he'll come through and he won't have to buy anyone from.
I think he's brilliant, mate. I wouldn't try. I keep saying I wouldn't buy anybody because I'd rather have him than anyone out there. Don't see anyone.
No.
So, and he thought you would have been watching the Championship, preparing for next season.
We're going nowhere except Bramley Moor. That's where we're going.
Coming up, innit?
Let's hope so.
Palace. I was just looking through the stats pack from one of the Wyscout earlier. They've conceded less shots on goal per game than Liverpool. A lot less. You know what I mean? They're almost. They're one of the better teams in the Premier League for conceding shots per game, shots on target per game.
And he's playing well. VDB's playing well, isn't he? Give him credit where it's due there. He's been the rock in that defence. But he hasn't had no one alongside him, and that might have been a bit of a problem.
Well, even when he has, the player alongside him's having to cover not just the centre back position, but the right back position. So
yeah, of course, yeah, with the inverted, yeah.
Yeah, you can't expect them to do anything. It's an impossible job. It's silly. You either go to a proper back three the minute you get the ball if you're going to play this system, or it just isn't going to work.
Doesn't Alisson make a difference though, Trish, in goal for Liverpool?
Fabulous player.
He's still made a couple of great saves there against Palace, and probably say it got them the extra 2 points, because the save he made in the last minute there was a great save, right on the line, and he does earn you 12 to 14 points minimum a season, I'd say, Alisson.
He's best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion, without a doubt. My only question is if he's the best ever. That's the only thing I'd question myself.
Yeah, I was questioning that on the site. I thought Clemens was a great keeper as well. I thought Neville Southall was a good keeper. But the only thing is longevity. If he keeps it going for another few years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and stays at the top, he probably would be the best keeper ever, I think,
Because nobody else has been able to do what he could do on the ball. Despite Peter Schmeichel, did you see the comments Peter Schmeichel made? Said that Alisson is not very good with his feet. It's like, what? Still one. That's one thing you can't criticise him for. He's fantastic with his feet. I mean, he makes the odd
Yeah,
error, but like so
he
does
had,
every
he had the
player
brain fart.
on the ball.
Yeah, he had the brain fart, but
Even a
he's still good
midfielder,
with his
you know, a
feet.
midfielder does it, a defender does it, a striker does it, but like
Yeah,
obviously when a goalkeeper does it, it's automatically, almost certainly a goal. So yeah, it looks weird,
yeah,
but he makes less than most, and he's
yeah.
fantastic with the ball. That's why he's got so many assists. But for Peter Schmeichel to have a dig at him for his kicking when that guy couldn't kick the ball, that's why he had to throw it every time he kicked. He had. You've got to remember as well that Peter Schmeichel he played with wingers like Andrei Kanchelskis, Ryan Giggs, people like that, Lee Sharp when he was at his peak. I know it was only a short period. People like that, but he always had players like that. So he had the
No,
Sadio
yeah,
Mane, Mo Salah type players that could cut in and score. Play the ball in behind. He had that available to him his entire career. Yet he got no. I don't think he got any assists, did he? Maybe one or two, and none of them with his feet because he couldn't kick it. They were throws out. I think he got a couple with throws out, and that's it. He certainly didn't get any by kicking the ball to him, and yet he could have done that every game. He had that open to him.
yeah.
And yet,
I see what you're saying.
I just come to it. I just read it, and I just thought, you just sound jealous.
Yeah, he's taking his legacy away.
Yeah, because he's you were the best keeper in the Premier League until Premier League history, and then Alisson came along and made you look like, well, you're just not as good. You know what I mean? So suddenly you've just dropped the level immediately. Like that's how.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic keeper. I really do. His positioning play is really good as well, But yeah, as I say, I was having a debate with the lads on the Liverpool site about. I said Clements is right up there. I thought Clements was a fantastic keeper. But if he keeps this going for another 4 or 5 years, I think he may well surpass what Clements done. Because I think he's not as good as he's a better keeper than Clements as an all-round keeper. But he hasn't got the longevity for me to have done it for that long a time, That's the only difference why he isn't still the best of all time at the moment for me. But he's very close to it, I must admit.
Clements was special as well, wasn't he? I only remember
he commanded the area really well.
I only remember him at Tottenham, but because obviously it was a bit before my time. I remember him a little bit at the end of his time at Tottenham, and he was still top class then.
Yeah, he was a cracking keeper.
Yeah. Anyway, should we move on to the next game? Because I think we've
go on, mate.
We haven't even mentioned Palace really, apart from saying they just they worked hard.
Yeah.
Suddenly, after not turning up in the last few games, they suddenly turned up against Liverpool. It's like, well, where was that the last few weeks? You mightn't have been in so much trouble. Well, had such bad results.
But I think a lot of that's down to how badly Liverpool played, especially first half. That they had more of the ball than you'd expect against Liverpool. Better instances in the game, and as you say, them 12:30 kickoffs. It's not great, is it, to play atmosphere to play in, and it doesn't certainly suit Liverpool. That's for certain. And yeah, they're not a bad side. Palace, but they have been on quite a bad run of results. And
if you watch their games, they just look like they were at half effort in their games, and that's what the people were saying. People were complaining about, the fans were complaining about, and then this game, suddenly they turn up and they're like, full on, incredible intensity.
Yeah. They're not a bad side, Palace, actually. They're going to take points off people. I think they're still going to be on the bottom 6 or 7, maybe 6, 7 or 8. But yeah, I don't think they're going down anyway. I think they're too good to go down.
Do they need to replace Roy Hodgson again? Is it?
I don't know. I think he's still doing a good job, but he is knocking on a bit. Like I'm not. That's not age. Not ageism coming in by me, by the way. But yeah,
sounds like it.
No, it's not. He's just. I don't know how to explain it. He doesn't seem to have the connection for me. Only for me, like my personal thing, with young players.
I think it was my end. I think I went offline for a second.
All right.
That's why. Sorry. Yeah.
Go on, we'll move on then. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So next game, Brighton and Hove Albion, Burnley, 1-1.
Yeah. But do you know what, we keep saying this about Brighton? Brighton are not all that, you know. And whether that's down to De Zerbi or, well, probably is down to De Zerbi, because they've still got a lot of good players there. Matoma on the bench, what's that all about? Midweek? And the weekend, possibly as well. I think he's a cracking player, but he doesn't seem to have they don't seem to have the intensity that they did last year. I know they've lost Caicedo, McAllister, but we know that's going to affect any team. But they don't look a unit like they were the last season and a half, 2 seasons. And I don't think De Zerbi's doing the greatest job for them there. I think he's a bit of a lunatic as well. But they're not playing great. They're not playing great, are they?
No, they're still having a lot of the ball possession. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. They're still getting a massive amount of possession, but they just don't seem to be capable of doing anything. They're having lots of shots, but like they're just not scoring goals. They don't look the same as they were. I think they're on their way out. I think De Zerbi soon we're gonna stop hearing all this hype about how wonderful he is, and people are gonna start noticing that, hang on, these are starting to slip down the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he sits at the moment. Where do he sit at the moment? Here, about 7th or 8th, already? Right.
I don't know actually. Good question. Let me check. Premier League table is Brighton 8th.
8th, yeah. That's where they deserve to be, probably 8th, 9th, 10th, around there, mid-table. Yeah, they haven't excited me like they did last year, that's for certain.
They just don't look a good side to me. I'm just not kidding. I'm not impressed with him at all. You know that. I don't think De Zerbi's someone. What the fuck, Arsenal? How is Arteta got cleared of misconduct after calling the VAR decisions embarrassing and disgrace? How the fuck does he get away with that? Klopp got, you know, they were mad at Klopp, and yet he gets away with it. Arteta's such a lucky.
You're not a fan, are you, of Arteta either?
No, he's a fucking knobhead, absolute knobhead. And this is exactly what Ferguson would have done. You know what I mean? The way we were talking about, the way screaming and shouting at officials and that. He's doing exactly the same thing to try and get an advantage. He's got away with it on a technicality, basically.
Right. Okay.
Because that's disgraceful. That really is disgusting that he's got away with it. Because, like, let's be honest, he was basically accusing them of cheating.
Yeah.
To say anything else, it's just disgraceful that he's got away with that. I mean, you can't get away with that. That's just there's no possible excuse for saying that. Like, that doesn't get you punished, not under the rules they say that they've got. Anyway,
they make them up as we go along.
Yeah, if it's anyone else, they're in trouble. Can you imagine if it was Mourinho? They'd have had him, hold him over the coals. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, yeah. Burnley as well. They're not a good side, are they? Still, I know they've been picking up points.
Yeah, they picked up a win and then a draw, so maybe they're on a little bit of a bounce, but they're still not a good side. And I'm not a big fan of the manager either, to be honest with you. I think he's very lucky to still be in a job. I'm happy that he's still in a job, to be honest with you, but because I think they're one of the ones who are going to go down. But they don't play great stuff. They're a bit... they try to play from the back all the time, seem to get in trouble trying to do that, and they're not very entertaining to watch either, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, it's just too much passing for passing's sake for my liking. I don't enjoy it.
No.
Yeah, they're not a team I enjoy watching at all, and I'll be glad when they go down. So my question is, how much longer can Company stay in a job when he's not making an absolute
That's
hack
the
of it?
point. That's the point, isn't it? How long did they stick with him? You see, there doesn't seem to be much coming out the club that they're going to get rid of him, but that doesn't say much, does it? But he's very lucky to still be in a job after the start they got off to. You know, other people have been well got rid of, and yeah, he's spreading on thin ice for me. But I suppose it'll depend what happens around Christmas time. How results go. Big one with Everton at the weekend, which is going to tell you a bit more about them probably. And yeah, they're a bit wishy-washy for me. They have no identity and haven't got a style of play. They just try to play little tippy-tappy football all around their own box, which the players aren't good enough to do. And yet he's sticking with them. And they don't score many goals. I know they scored 5 the week before last, which is a contradiction of terms. But besides that, they haven't looked a threat to any other team in the league for me.
But I mean, even that game, it's a real shock rather than.
Yeah, they scored after seconds. Yeah, they scored after seconds. So that could put them on a really strong footing, and the other teams chasing then. So I think that was a one-off. I don't think they're going to beat many people 5-0.
Anyway, to move on to somebody else who must be on a sugly peg as well. With Manchester United getting thrashed by Bournemouth 3-0.
Yeah, an amazing result. Real coup and buster, I'd say, that one. Yeah, and deserved turn out of fourth, disallowed very contentiously as well. Yeah, that was a disgraceful performance by United, wasn't it?
But they're starting to pick up Bournemouth, to be fair.
Yeah, they've had a good run lately.
But they still shouldn't be beating Man United at home.
No.
Not at Old Trafford. No.
No, the supporters were going berserk over that performance.
I mean, there's one thing getting beat by Bayern 1-0. That's actually not a bad result in the end of the day when with the players they've got out injured, but playing against Bournemouth and losing 3-0 at home, that's you just can't.
Yeah.
So, what do you do?
I don't know. I think he's another one treading water at the moment and could well be got rid of Ten Hag. If Liverpool give Dan a hiding on Sunday, it wouldn't surprise me if he was replaced. Because he just hasn't produced the goods this season. And last year, I was full of praise for him. When he dropped Rashford for being late and got rid of Mason Greenwood and done a few other things in the club that disciplinary wise. And I thought, he's just the right man for United here. And he seems to have lost all that. He's lost the credibility. I think he might have lost the dressing room actually. And it's very dodgy for United at the moment. They're not playing well at all. They've had a couple of odd games away from Old Trafford where they've done all right. Really good win at Everton, and another good win away, and Galatasaray was it. But besides that, the home form has been absolutely shocking. And I think they're in a bit of trouble, to be honest with you. Not that they're going to get relegated now. And they're still quite... I can't believe how high up they are in the league, actually. And I know it's all about results, but the playing style is not what the fans are expecting. They don't look a threat to many people at all.
They're not a good team to watch.
They're not, no. No, they're not.
I mean, you were speaking about playing style. I'm not actually sure what theirs is. Yeah,
it changes week by week, I think, doesn't it? And, rightfully so. To be honest with you, Marcus Rashford is in a terrible run of form. And I like the lad. I must admit, I like the lad. But he's been in a terrible run of form. I don't know whether he's fell out with Ten Hag or what's happened. He seems to have lost his mojo. And the player Marshall, who just doesn't look like a footballer, to be honest with you. he doesn't look like a footballer when he comes on. And Anthony, another just a total waste of money. Bruno's looking for ways to get round getting the blame, if you see what I mean. He's doing a lot of running around, he's scoring the odd goal, but as performances go, I think he's been absolutely awful, and I think he's one of the problems at United. Bruno.
Yeah, he's not doing well at the moment either.
No.
There's a lot of the fans wanting them to bring back Greenwood, Mason Greenwood.
Wouldn't be me, can you assure you?
Yeah, which I just find that a bit. It's like the morals go out the window, don't they? Sometimes.
Absolutely.
No, it wouldn't be for me. I wouldn't.
That's the trouble with United. Things going off the pitch, things getting done behind outside the ground. Then the players have got no discipline. Yeah. And I think that's half of the problem with United.
Exactly what I was trying to say. Thinking is the last thing I'd want to do is bring back a problem. Unless you know that all the other players are gonna be supporting that, which is highly unlikely. There's gonna be is it gonna cause problems behind the scenes? It's bound to. I mean, you've got a women's team there for starters.
But you would with all the fans, say what you like about United fans, they're very loyal, and a lot of them are good people, and you wouldn't want a fella who got off on charges, surprisingly to me, after what the pictures we've seen of his girlfriend, you wouldn't want a player, I certainly wouldn't, in my team, to represent at my football club, who's done things like that. I think he's an absolute arsehole, and I wouldn't want him anywhere near my club, I'll be honest with you.
No, I wouldn't. I think that's the worst thing you can do is bring back Greenwood. When you're in trouble, last thing you need to do is bring in a problem child to your club.
Absolutely.
You just don't. It just adds more problems when you've already got enough.
Yeah. I think there's definitely discipline problems there, and I don't think Erik ten Hag is going to sort it out.
Well,
I'd like him to.
He was the one that wanted to bring him back. Is the thing. This is where this for me is part of the problem. Is that he was far more interested in whether he's a good player than what's right and what's wrong, and that's part of the problem right there at the club.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Josh. Yeah, but do you think he'll go, Tris? Do you think Ten Hag will see the season out?
As soon as Ineos get in, I think he'll be. They'll go once they've got their foot in the door and that, and got sorted out who they want to put in running the football side and that. I think they'll be replacing him pretty much straight away. As soon as they can, basically.
I think it's a massive game for him.
A new owner comes in, they always want their own man in charge, and they'll definitely want to do that anyway. Especially the way things are going, it needs someone new in. They clearly have, there's clearly a lot of problems there with Ten Hag, which is not helping. So yeah, I think they need a change.
Yeah, as you say, Jim Ratcliffe coming in, he will hopefully get things sorted. Whether that means the end of Ten Hag, I'm not sure.
What do you mean, hopefully? What do you mean, hopefully? Whoa, take that back.
I like United. I'm a very United fan. It's my second team, aren't they? So.
Well, yeah, because you're never a fan. They're always a second team. Once a toffee, always a mank. Yeah? Isn't that right, Wayne Rooney?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I feel sorry for Ten Hag, to be honest with you. I do feel sorry for him, but he's made his own problems there. I don't think he's been strong enough with players, and he's got players in like Casemiro, who just hasn't I know he's had his injury problems, but to pay that sort of money for what is it, 30, 31?
He wasn't a player he wanted. That's the thing. He's
Did
allowed
he?
them to buy him. He didn't want him. It wasn't one he wanted. He was not on his list at all of players he was looking to buy. He was just intent on Frankie De Jong. That was it. Didn't want anybody else. And when
What wants to
you know, so he's ended up with Casemiro simply because Real Madrid has said, "Hey, do you want to buy this one? We don't want rid of him. He's crap." That's basically what they've said. We don't want him. He's not good enough for us. Have him. You know, but give us a huge amount of money, and they did. I mean, it's astonishing. He was never that good anyway. He's had a good few months at Man United last season, but even then, it was only like 1 or 2 months when he first came in, and then he soon faded, and he got worse as the season went on. Picked up injuries and stuff as well.
Yeah, and the keeper's not good. Keeper's not good. Very poor keeper on man.
I did say that before they bought him. Obviously, you know, he's always been a crap keeper. He's dodgy as fuck. He always has been. Even when he was on drugs, he was still crap. So, you know, what's he going to be like now he's no longer able to take them because he's been caught? Oh, if this was him on performance enhancing drugs, what do you expect of that one? he's that shit with the pets. You got no chance without them, like.
Yeah, massive game for them this weekend away at Liverpool. I can't see them getting anything on and
the way we're playing.
And I think if you give them a bit of an I think he's going to be under real pressure, Sennan.
Well, I just hope the real Liverpool turns up and we play a proper flat back four and just go at them like we used to play. Because we'll fucking destroy them. But if we go stick with this inverted fullback system, anything could happen.
Right.
Yeah, so we move on to the next game, Sheffield United Brentford, which is probably the biggest shock of the weekend, to be fair. Sheffield United got their first win. Yeah,
new manager bounce, I think, isn't it? You always get that. And to be fair, he does have his teams working hard. They work really hard, and that's been one of the problems with Sheffield United. They haven't looked bothered to make it on the pitch. Whether they got beat or not didn't matter. I don't know whether they wanted the manager to go or what, but they just haven't produced the goods. They haven't got the greatest players, I must admit. Well, they weren't even trying to put in a shift. And they put in a shift the weekend, and against what was a very poor Brentford side, I must admit. I watched some of the game, and they didn't look. I know they're missing the centre forward. He's done well for them this season, Brentford, but they didn't look good at all, Brentford. And I was very surprised that they never had more fight in them, because I do like the manager. And that wasn't a good performance by Brentford the weekend.
Yeah, I don't think they're a very good side, Brentford. I think they've been getting gradually worse myself. So I'm not really surprised, but still, to lose to Sheffield, you're not really surprised that they're poor, but to lose to Sheffield United, that's just something I don't expect. They're such a bad side. Even with the new manager bounce, I still didn't expect them to do anything.
I didn't think they'd win, but he's got off to a decent start, getting a win like that, which they desperately needed. And if he can keep it going, but I don't think he's got the quality of squad to keep it going. I think they're going to get a couple of ridings from the better teams, and then we'll see where we are there with them. See how they perform then.
Yeah, I think it's too late for them to perform a miracle, keep them up, but you never know.
I'd say so, yeah.
Forest are falling apart rapidly.
Oh, they are, aren't they? They look a pretty poor side, and the manager's very lucky to stay at a job, isn't he, at the moment? They've been awful, Forest.
I think he wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for the miracle he performed getting them up. Let's face it, he did perform a minor miracle getting them up.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
When he took over. But He's not performing a minor miracle in the Premier League at all, is he? He's struggling. And I don't think it's helped him. You know, obviously the owner hasn't helped him at all, buying 35 players every season.
Yeah,
No,
I know, that's got to be a problem.
I mean, how is he meant to build a team and keep it together and get them playing well? You were basically you're writing off the first half of the season while you find out what the players what the players are like, your new signings. Because especially as he's
Absolutely.
not really having that much input. I mean, he's not had that much input in a lot of them. The few he's had, to be fair though, the ones he has had input in, I'm not sure were the best, were their good signings anyway though. So maybe it's probably best that he doesn't have that much input. But yeah, they've been. I mean, we might as well talk about them now. Actually, Wolves, because they drew with Wolves. That was the next on the list anyway. They drew 1-1 with Wolves, and
that's a good result. Actually, a good result for them. They needed that. The manager needed that, and they got off to a good start. For the cracking goal, by the way, and Wolves struggled from them a bit, and I was a bit disappointed with Wolves, because they've been going well. And
their goal was good.
I think
Wolves, their goal was fantastic. The only bit of good football they played in the entire match. Brilliant.
That was a good goal. But they weren't at it all game like they have been. And look, they didn't look that much of a threat upon. I thought they'd be easily be punished. But he got the results 1-1, and you know, that's going to keep the manager in the job for maybe another week or two until they get another hiding. And I still think they're looking very poor side. They've been poor for a good month now, and they're going right down as well. They're going to be in trouble, I think.
Yeah, they're in a relegation battle, aren't they?
Yeah, but do you know what? I always think about Wolves, and I like Wolves as a side, and they had so much to put up with the way they've been treated with decisions and VAR and everything else. Yeah. I don't feel sorry for them. And they should have had another maybe 6 or 8 points, if things had gone their way, being done properly, should I say. And I really feel for them. I want them to do well, to spite the FA, and to spite the Premier League, because they've had such bad decisions against them that I really want them to do well,
Yeah, I'm the same. It's just, how many more apologies can they get? Didn't they get another one after that game as well?
Yeah.
It's
you had a terrible rubber degree you've had. It really is, and I feel sorry, and I want them to do well.
Can it still be considered rubber to green when it's this many times it's happening?
No, you can't.
You've got to think there's something seriously up against them. The FA's got something against them, seriously against them.
Yeah, they haven't had the best of treatment, I don't think. And it's all right giving apologies. It doesn't get your points though, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly.
And he's done really well, the manager, to not be absolutely running on and punching the referees itself. But he's done really well there.
Yeah, and considering when he took over, took over like 3 days before the season, didn't he, or whatever?
Yeah.
Because of the way Lopetegui flounced out in a strop because he didn't get his billions to spend.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a bit of empathy for them, and I made up that they're doing well, in spite of what's happened to them. I'm happy to see them stay up. And they play some decent stuff as well, so they're not a bad side at all, Wolves.
Yeah, when they do play some good stuff, as they showed against. They played some lovely stuff. Their goal was really, it's just not enough. It's far too much time when they're just not playing, showing enough, and it's something they need to sort out. Yeah, I don't know what the issue is there, because it's very strange. Anyway, should we move on to the final game of Saturday? Was Aston Villa Arsenal? And Villa winning 1-0, which I don't know whether that's a shock or not, actually.
I don't actually thought Villa had beat them. I said that last week. I thought Villa a decent side. They are a decent side. I didn't think they played great, to be honest with you, Villa. I watched the game, all of the game, and I didn't think they played. They started off really well.
I thought they
started off really well. The first 10 minutes.
Half, they were really good. Was that not the game? Or was that a previous game? It might have been.
John McGinn scored the goal. A really good goal, by the way. Villa scored.
He's turned into a player, hasn't he?
Yeah, really good. And he's the heartbeat of that side in the middle there. And, you know, I think he's a bit underrated there, John McGinn. And they started off really well, got the goal, got in front, made another few good chances, and then they dropped off a bit because Arsenal come into the game a bit more. But Arsenal are so wishy-washy to me. They never created great chances. They had a couple of half chances here and there, and they had the disallowed goal, which if it hits your hand, it's not a goal, you know, it's simple as that. And but they done nothing but moan Arteta about the match, about the referee disallowing the goal. By the letter of the law, he done the right thing. It hits his hand, and I'm afraid that's if it hits your hand on the goal line or wherever, it's a foul, and you can't give the goal. But they look so wishy-washy to me, Chris. Arsenal.
Yeah, they've not impressed me all season, to be honest. I'm not sure how Liverpool and Arsenal up the top is. It doesn't say a lot for the rest of the league.
No. And Saka's going through a bad run at the moment, and I'm a massive fan of Saka. But he doesn't look great lately.
All he does is throw himself to the floor now and roll about. I mean, he's turned into a right little diving twat. But now I'm watching him and I'm thinking, Jesus, he's worse than Grealish.
He does spend a lot of time on the floor. But you know what? They're missing a centre forward so badly. Jesus, honestly, the two up front. Yeah, Jesus and Kai Havertz. They're not good players. They're not good enough for Arsenal if they're going to have a title challenge this year. For me, you know, I like Martinelli on the left. I think he's very dangerous, but he doesn't play the full 90 minutes. He gets dragged off for it more likely than not. And he'll give you 50, 60, 70 minutes of play, and then he just fades. I don't know if it's a fitness thing with him. But they don't look as though, and I love Rice. I still love Rice in the middle. I think he's really good. And Odegaard, people are saying he hasn't been playing really well, but I thought he'd done all right. I think he's the heartbeat of them as well. And they have got players there, but you've got to be able to create chances and put chances away if you're going to have a title challenge. And they haven't got that for me, Tris. They just haven't got it.
No, I stand by what I said. They should have kept hold of Balogun.
Yeah, I know you've always said that. Yeah, I never seen much of Balogun. Must admit, but I know you always said.
They basically brought in Jesus to replace him. Why? I mean, Nketiah is clearly the weak link.
Yeah, he doesn't do enough for me, Eddie Nketiah. I think he's a skillful lad as well, but he just doesn't produce it on the pitch. He'll have moments where he's very good, but I don't think you can start games with Eddie Nketiah. Yeah, I don't think he's good enough to start.
If they'd have replaced him with Jesus, I would have understood it. But you're replacing a better player with the player who isn't as good. It doesn't make any sense. I
don't think they're going to win the title. I know they're second favourites or third favourites, whatever they are, Arsenal. And I don't think they're good enough to win a Premier League at the moment. If you get a centre forward in January, or someone prolific, who that's going to be, I don't know. they might have a chance because the rest of the team, they're pretty solid side, play some decent stuff, but they're not good enough to win the league for me, Arsenal.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, oh my God, I forgot what I was going to say now. I've completely lost the thread of what I was going to say. Ah! Oh, you were saying, yeah, I don't know, I can't remember now. Doesn't matter. Can't have been that important, can it? Outside of remember. That's old age, that is. Oh my God. So, yeah, I can't see them winning the league anyway. Just
I can't.
they haven't got a goal scorer, a proper goal scorer, and you're right in that respect. They really need to sort that out. And I think, I know what I was going to say. I was going to say the amount of money Arteta spent, they really should be. Really should be winning it. There's no excuse for the amount he spent now.
He's been backed, hasn't he? He's been backed financially as much as he could be. And then not the finished article, they often puff, but they don't actually blow the house down very often, do they, for me? They've been getting results, and they've won a couple of games in the last minute, a couple of times, and I think they're lucky to be where they are at the moment. I don't see them a top four, possibly a top four side, probably a top four side, but as regards winning it, not for me, I'm afraid. Unless they improve the playing staff and get a centre forward, as you say. And I'm still not happy with the keeper situation. I think he's made a mess of that, Arteta. With the two of them, not a fan at all.
No, he's just. It's like he's lost the plot completely, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was never completely all there anyway, with his bizarre statements and that, but now he's just completely lost it. And this season is just showing him to just be a lunatic who's got lucky by having big money to spend.
Yeah, but he hasn't spent it that wisely. I think the Rice acquisition was a really good one, and because, as I say, I'm a massive fan of Declan Rice. And I think they've got some good players in there, but they haven't got that cutting edge that you need to get you out of situations, to get you that goal when you're 1-0 down. Like Liverpool have got Salah, they can bring Jota on, they've got Nunez, they've got Diaz. These are players that can win you games. I don't think Arsenal have got that, that one where you go, yeah, these are going to get a goal here, For me, I think they're a bit wishy-washy up front.
You can't see them getting anywhere, can you, really? Let's be honest. Anyway, should we move on to the next one?
Go on,
we can just skip on past this one. It's not important. Everton 2, Chelsea 0 on the Sunday. It wasn't really. I mean, there's nothing really to say about that, is there, Bill?
Two not very good sides, actually, but Everton are doing okay at the moment. Sean Dyche has got them playing really well. It's the fittest Everton side I've seen for a long time. They go from minute 1 to minute 95, 96, or 100 as it was this week, and they're giving everything. And do you know what? That's all I can ask for, doesn't it, Tommy? I can do with them not, I can live with them not being the most skillful, so long as they give the effort. And the effort they're putting in is above and beyond. They're playing really, not the greatest football, but they're really trying, and they're a threat. And I'm made up the way it's going at the moment. We've had 3 good results, which is Nottingham Forest away, which you could say, the way Nottingham Forest have been playing isn't great. But then to beat Newcastle and Chelsea at home is a good result, even though it was a under-strength Newcastle. But it was a strong Chelsea side that they put out. But they're such a bad side, Chelsea. I think he's still lucky to still be in a job as well.
Yeah,
Pochettino.
He's definitely a manager that's got to be on a sticky wicket or whatever you want to call it. He's
real
trouble. He has to be, because he's been bloody awful there. They are terrible.
They are, yeah. Do you know what, Trish? They never threatened us with proper chances. They had a couple of shots outside the box, but besides that, they never really tore us apart or, created top chances. They had a lot of the ball, but you'd expect Chelsea to have a lot of the ball, but they weren't effective at all. I thought they were very disappointing. And that Jackson, when he come on, bloody hell.
Their recruitment's been abysmal. Rice has been desperate to go back. Had been desperate to go back there, and they just passed up on him time and time again. To then go and spend more money on other players.
Enzo was awful. Yeah,
exactly. They brought in Enzo instead when they needed Rice. They needed an experienced captain, a leader. That's what they've been missing for a while. And instead, they give the captaincy to Reece James. You couldn't stay fit if his life depended on it. Unless a contract's coming up. And then I bet you'll manage to stay fit for a while when his contract needs renewing. Let's be honest.
And when he went off, he passed it to Conor Gallagher, who was the captain for the rest of the game. He's another wishy-washy player for me. He tries hard. He's quite skillful as well, but there's no leadership there. Exactly what you were saying before. No leadership on the field. It's just 11 individuals passing it between themselves. And the lad on the wing, Mudryk, he was quite dangerous at times, but he wasn't. He never created that much.
No, he's just quick. But you watch.
Caicedo,
like I said this in the summer. It's not like I was, I'm changing my mind because he's playing badly for Chelsea. I just don't think he was a good sign. He was a player I wouldn't have wanted to target. He's a pure mercenary. And that's exactly what they've ended up with at Chelsea. They've just brought in mercenaries. And unfortunately, when a mercenary is being paid really well, there's no incentive for them to work hard because they don't need to work hard for the next move. Once they're being paid millions, you know what I mean? There's nothing left for them to do. They've reached they've reached their desire. They're getting paid well, so they don't work as hard. There's nothing. There's no next step for them to look at to work towards. They've already reached their peak, and this is the problem Chelsea have got, and this is where they've gone completely wrong. They've brought in a bunch of mercenaries. They paid ridiculously over the top for them. And then they put nobody in there to kick them up the arse and get them playing anyway. No leadership.
The biggest thing I that is they're all on 7-8 year contracts. They're never going to be able to get rid of them.
Well, that's what I mean.
The likes of Jackson and that, they're in trouble.
Again, it's this isn't like something we've said, we're not. This isn't something we're coming up with after the fact. We all said it at the time. You, me, and Seamus said it at the time when they were signing these players that this was a mistake. This was going to cause some problems down the line. It's not hindsight. It was obvious. It was ridiculous. They've just brought in a bunch of kids and then wondered why it doesn't work. It's one thing to have them coming up to your youth team and put them in your team at once because they've got something to try for because it's their team.
Yeah, and they've got a great youth setup.
Exactly. They bought what they can produce, so why bother buying it?
Absolutely.
You should have bought. You buy ready-made players. You bring through youth around them from your academy. That's how it should be at a team like Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, teams like that. That's how it needs to be. Unfortunately, Chelsea don't have a clue how to. He didn't have a clue what he was doing, Bowley, and they haven't got it right at all. Yeah, they're going to be in real trouble trying to offload some of these players to recover the money they've spent, so they can spend more.
Was it true what I read about the EPL coming up with a maximum now of 5-year contracts?
Yeah, that's not EPL came up with it. They've just added, agreed to abide by the new UEFA ruling.
All right.
It's not a maximum 5-year contract. Players don't, it's not limiting the amount of time players' contracts are. That's not what it was about. It's
okay.
It's limiting the amount of time you can put them, over FFP for, amortize the contracts over. Because what they were doing is when they were signing them, and they were saying that the length of contract was how long you could pay the, take the transfer fee out of your outgoings for FFP purposes. You were allowed to do it. So they were giving them a 7-year contract. So they were paying 115 million instead of doing it over 3 years. They were able to spread it out over 7 years by giving them a 7-year contract. See, but now you can do it over 5 years. So if you spend 100 million, it's 20 million a year for 5 years.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's over 7, obviously it's a lot less. So you got a bit more leeway with and that's what they've done. That was something UEFA set out the minute they sat. When Chelsea were doing this, they said, "Hang on a sec, we need to put a stop to this because it's making a mockery." It's making a mockery of the ruling. They changed it, and now the EPL have finally signed up to it. That's what has happened.
Do you know what, Trish? Do you know if they get a deduction? Which they could well do, because they've obviously they've infringed on the FFP. I think we all know that, along with City.
This is totally different. Prior to not send Roman Abramovich, though. Remember, this isn't a Bowley thing. The infringement.
Right, yeah. But I thought Bowley was part of it as well.
No. He was the one. No. This is nothing to do with the spending since then. Okay. Remember that the FFP's over 3 years, so he's only been in charge. It's only been a year and a half, or so, whatever it is. It's a year and a half now.
He still spends a lot of money, hasn't he? A hell of a lot of money.
But remember, they've not been able to spend under Abramovich. They were blocked from spending. Remember, so they had a year of no spending, so they could spend, the money they'd saved, and plus, obviously, they put in a large cash injection because of the the takeover and things like that. Yeah. So there was a lot of money available they could spend. Obviously, not because they actually have spent. They're going to have to recoup some. But anyway, that's not what they. That's not what they got.
If they got banned, they'd be in real trouble, wouldn't they? They got points taken off them. I don't think they can get out of it.
They should do, because what it is Roman Abramovich was making under the counter payments to managers and players.
Mm.
And it was Todd Bowley's. When they checked the accounts after taking over, they found the evidence and they handed it to the FA. So it's not like it's an open and shut case, really. I don't understand why it's taken any amount of time to decide. It's pretty much done and dusted. They've admitted it themselves. Chelsea have come in and said, "Shit, look at the problem we've got here. Look at what they done. Look at what we found in the accounts." And they've gone and taken it to the FA and said, "Look what we found. There's been a lot of things going on here. But obviously they've got to be punished, because even though it was a previous ownership regime, it doesn't matter. It's still Chelsea benefited and were able to buy players, etc. on the back of the success they had under Abramovich. Because let's face it, before Abramovich, they were a bit of a nothing club." So they wouldn't have had Todd Bowley wouldn't have even been interested in buying them if it hadn't been for Abramovich's era. So there's, unfortunately for him, they've got to be punished, and it's got to be at least points deduction. Personally, I think both them and City, you've got to strip title trophies. You've got to. You can't have them cheating to win trophies and then not strip them of them. I don't know.
I can see that going on.
Everton couldn't be stripped, obviously, because they had none. They won, but but I'm saying, any benefit they gained didn't win them trophies, so they couldn't. But and even putting the jokes aside, you can't strip them of trophies. They didn't win any. It didn't benefit them to that degree. But Chelsea and Man City, would they have won any of their titles without cheating? I don't think you can say they would. You can't, can you?
I don't know when the cases are going to come up, though. How long they're going to keep it under wraps, or the lawyers are keeping it, dragging it on for. Just don't know when it's going to come on.
But City are certainly going to try and keep it out of the keep it out so as long as they can. Which, you know, when they say they're innocent, if you're innocent, you want it proven and sorted as quick as possible. So I think that that alone tells you that they're about as innocent as Mason Greenwood.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, should we move? Unless you got anything else to say about Chelsea?
No, just think Everton are having a really good run at the moment. So I know we've got Burnley the weekend, which is a big game for us actually, to stay above the parapet and keep out the bottom three, hopefully, and get a result there, a win, most likely. I hope so, anyway.
Yeah, it needs to be, doesn't
it? Doing okay, Everton.
Needs to be a win. You can't afford to against a team like Burnley. Yeah,
Burnley, no.
Don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Fulham West Ham. Fulham again winning putting 5 past somebody with a 5-0 win over West Ham. And I thought another manager's got to be in trouble as well, David Moyes.
Yeah.
They've been awful to see. I know they're 9th, which it's just astonishing they're that high up in the table because they've been bloody awful.
Yeah, they have, yeah. That was a bad result for them, wasn't it? You know, at Fulham. But to be fair, Fulham are on fire at the moment. I mean, we've got them in the cup next week. And, it's going to be, you know, the way they're playing, they're in full, they're scoring goals. I'm made up for the centre forward. What's his name from Wolves?
Raul
Jimenez, yeah. Jimenez, yeah. I'm made up for him. Not to the bad injury he got. I'm made up for him to. I'm not made up on Wednesday when we play them. Like I'll be booing him, but I'm made up for him. You know, and Fulham have played some really good stuff. So they've done really well. Last 2 results, 2 5-0s. It's been absolutely fantastic for them, and they're playing some nice stuff as well, scoring goals, and he's doing a good job there, I think. The ex-Everton manager, yeah, he's doing a really good job there, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, they're streaky. They'll have good runs like this, and then it'll fall apart. It's always, you know, that's the way Marco Silva is, because he doesn't organise the defence well. They're always prone to, you know, they can score 4 goals and still. I mean, you saw against Liverpool, they can score however many goals you want, and they're still going to lose. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, against the better sides, they can't defend. So, it's always going to be a problem for them. And
that's the same West Ham Crawford shirts, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, is it Europe? Is it the Europe thing that they're in? You know, the Europa.
A couple of times now, James Ward-Prowse has come out publicly and said they've just basically thrown the manager's instructions out the door and played the way they wanted to get a result after they were struggling. And this has happened a few times now this season. So I'm getting the impression that this is starting. You know, they're starting to turn on him now, and it's, you know, the fans are. They got lucky in the cup final. They were battered. Let's be honest, in the Europa Conference League thing. They were lucky to get the win. They were they're very much a Moyes type trophy. You know, it's very much a Moyes win. That was, you know, get absolutely battered, outplayed, but still sneak a victory.
Yeah,
but they haven't taken them on. You know, they were poor last season. They were really struggling. I can't see. They just look like a team that's going to slide down the table.
No, they've still got a few good players though. That Jared Bowen's a hell of a player. I think someone's got to come in for him. Whether they get them, I don't know. They'll probably price him out for the move. But, you know, a player like him for the likes of Arsenal would be a good signing. It'd be a good signing for most teams, I think. And, you know, he obviously wants to win things. He wants to go forward. And he might want away, you know. Same as well.
That's who Man United should have bought instead of that Anthony.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. I think he's a hell of a player, Bowen.
Fantastic player. Really good player. The only trouble is Liverpool. You know, as a Liverpool fan, I don't see the point in signing a player like him because he plays where Mo Salah plays. So, like, you know, he's not exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what's the point? Yeah, he's not going to beat. He's not getting in front of Salah, is he? Let's be honest. So,
No, it's not. No.
yeah, great.
But Liverpool heavily linked with him, weren't they, last year? Liverpool were linked with him to come to Liverpool.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it was supposed to be a salary replacement or,
yeah, if Salah,
if Salah was going to go, yeah.
Liverpool keep tabs on him in case Salah goes, but like, you know, other than that, yeah. So.
Yeah, but they're not a good side, West Ham. Not a good side at all. And that was a bit of a humiliation.
I don't think they are a bad side. I think it's just the way the manager's playing. They've got them playing is poor. I actually think there's a good team there. If somebody if somebody came in and took over, then had a go. Sent the team out to attack. It's nice to see Curtis Jones as the captain for tonight, by the way. Interesting choice, though. Yeah, interesting choice. Because I would have thought.
Have you got a strong side out?
Endo. No, it's Jones, Kelleher, and fucking hell, I've forgotten what it is now. Jones. Hang on, I'll find it. It's Kelleher, Endo, Kanate, Jones, Hakpo, Elliott, Chambers, Gordon, Doak, Kwanzaa, and Bradley. So Bradley's getting a right, which will be good to watch. But yeah, Kwanzaa in central defence with Chambers on the left, Doak on the right wing. So it looks like Elliott, Jones and Endo in midfield, and Hakpo, Doak and hang on, who's Jones? No, Elliott must be on the left. Shit, no. I'm confused now.
He'd be on the right, won't he? I thought he'd be on the right.
Yeah, I was thinking Doak would be on the left. Sorry, Doak must be on the left, is what I was thinking. Elliott on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd expect that.
Because you got Endo, Jones, and hang on. No, Elliott will be in midfield, only with Endo and Jones.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Hakpo. Gordon.
Doak. Gordon is a Gordon.
Yeah. He'll be up front. Yeah, he'll be up front on the wing. That's the other one. That's who I missed.
Right.
That's because I didn't see. That's because I missed. I'd said Gordon. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah, so I wonder every time I've seen Gordon, he played on the right as well. So it'll be interesting to see who plays which side, Doak and Gordon. Yeah.
Nice.
But we could see Bradley play.
Yeah, I'll have a look at him tonight. I haven't seen much of him, but I'd like to have a look at him, see what he's like.
Not a good side to watch him in. Because, would it be in a basically a youth team out like it, it's going to be difficult for them to. But be good to see how they get on. And they've already won the group, so they're not really left to play for. Anyway, should we move on to the next game, Luton Town, Man City. Man City won 2-1, but it wasn't an easy.
Very luckily.
Yeah, they don't look good either, do they? City, they're not right at the moment.
No, they're not, Chris. No, I've said from the start of the season, I don't think they're going to be as good this year as what they have been. I know they won 3 trophies last year, but they have, without De Bruyne, and they've missed Rodri for a few games. Anyone's going to miss players like that, but especially City. Rodri runs that midfield. He's a fantastic player. And missing Kevin De Bruyne as well, it was always going to be tougher than last year. But they don't look at it to me, City. They don't look as good as what they were. And to be fair to Luton gave them a good game. And they were unlucky not to get a point, to be honest with you. Only a last, Jack Grealish goal late on secured them the points. But they don't look the side that they were to us. Anything like it for me.
Yeah, no, they're not at the same level as they were. So.
Yeah. And they're missing Gundogan big time. Missing Gundogan as well in that.
Luton are really giving it a good go as well, aren't they?
Absolutely, they are. Yeah, yeah. They put up some really good performances lately, and they were unlucky against Liverpool. They've obviously beat Everton. They had a good game against City, and they played another side, and they played really well. So they are having a go. I don't think they're good enough to stay up personally, but at least they're having a go and putting the performances in. I'm sure the manager's made up. Yeah, all power to them, like, because no one expected them to do anything at all this year, and so they're not doing too bad for what Luton is as a football club.
Yeah, they're struggling, but they're fighting. They're making a fight of it, and you can't ask for more than that.
Absolutely, Trish. Absolutely.
Next final game of the Sunday was Tottenham Newcastle. And Newcastle looked awful then, didn't they?
They really do, yeah, don't get me wrong. They've got all sorts of injuries. Basically, 11 players who could get in the first team have been out injured. And, but I don't feel for them one little bit, I'll be honest with you. They haven't got the squad depth to challenge at that sort of level. They're out the European now. Got knocked out last night, 2-1. And they don't look at a really good side like they can be. They've still got some great players. Kamara's, Joe Linton, really good players. They're missing the keeper. That De Braga is a bad keeper who's coming for Pope. Unfortunately, Pope, another one injured.
I don't think he's a bad keeper. He's certainly at the same level as Pope, who's crap. I mean, Cope's not a good keeper.
I'm not a big Pope fan.
He can't kick. He's
bad with his feet.
Positioned. He's just one of those.
He's bad with his feet.
Spectacular. He's another one like Pickford. He's shit. You just like the shit keepers who look spectacular because they make saves that they should be making look easy, but they make them look.
Pickford's done well this season. Pickford's done very well this season, and his kicking's really good lately.
He does exactly the same thing in every game, and people think he's great because he makes it look spectacular when it's an easy save that he shouldn't be. He shouldn't have struggled with in the first place. That's the problem.
I know what you're saying. He's a bit of a weak keeper, yeah.
Makes it look easy.
Yeah.
And,
he's not as good as Alisson. He's not as good as that.
He's making.
He's still in the top 5.
If he's in
still the top 5,
then there's only 4 other keepers there. That's why.
I know you're not a fan. I think he's doing all right. I like him. I think he's doing okay.
Well, yeah,
and that's not one position. No, not just because he's Everton's keeper. He actually has played really well this season, and he does make the odd mistake. This keeper doesn't, but he's been really good. He's not one we have to replace, by the way. We replace, but keeper's not one of them. I can assure you.
But yeah, worry you've got, that's for sure.
No, he's not. No. But going back to Newcastle, yeah, you feel for them because they missed a few plays, but Tottenham look really on fire, actually. I know they played this high line, and they've got a couple of players missing, but do you know that the centre-half, he's an accident waiting to happen. He should have been sent off again.
Which one?
It was the centre-half who's just come back from a suspension. Romero, yeah. That was another terrible challenge. How he never got sent off, I don't know.
He's actually he was a really good defender, but working it, I just don't think this system suits him. It makes him panic because if he doesn't make a challenge, then somebody's in and away, and he's not going to catch him because he's not that quick. So I think he's thrown himself into things when he should be like just taking it easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's making him force the game when he should just take it, relax a bit more and just play. If you see what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm making.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where he's not a bad defender. He's just been put in a position he doesn't want to be in.
very rash, some of the tackles he's making.
Mm.
But
But when you're
yeah,
playing that high line, if you don't make that challenge, then they're in and
yeah,
gone, and it's a goal almost certainly. So
yeah.
you can see why
But
he's rash, because he's having
Son was marvellous. Son was marvellous again.
He's a
Son,
fabulous player.
what a good player, honestly. And they were very attacking, very attractive to watch Tottenham. I know that, the kamikaze at times, but, when they're on and they're playing well, with Son in the middle, Kulusevski played well.
Did he play? I thought Son was on the left. I thought Richarlison was in the middle.
He was, but he was all over the place, son. He was left, he was right. Do you know what? He was just all over the pitch. He was fantastic. And Richarlison done okay, scored a couple of goals.
He got a couple of goals, which shocked me.
Yeah,
I'm still not convinced he's the right man for that position. I'd rather have Son in there, but I suppose who do you play on the left then? Because Richarlison's even worse on the left for them.
Yeah, they've done well though. They were very good to watch actually. Very attractive, the Postecoglou's teams. And yeah, they played really well. They're going to be very Spursy in the end. They're going to probably finish maybe 5th, 6th, 7th, somewhere there. But they're very attractive to watch, I must admit, Tom.
Yeah, they are a lovely watch. Whether they're going to go, and I've got to agree with you, whether they're actually going to get anything from it that's a step up from where they've been, it's doubtful. But at least they'll be a great watch doing it. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm very good. I do like Postecoglou, the way he plays the football.
As I say, a bit kamikaze at times, but very good. Easy on the eye. Very easy on the eye.
He's taking a risk to try and win games rather than like Moyes and taking no risk football. That's
the other way around.
Exactly. He's saying, I'm going to take a risk. You're going to go up. We're going to play the high line, but we're going to try and win every game. We're going to try. We're not going to go out there to try and just hold on and hope to snatch a point. We're going to go out there to try and beat the other team every game, and that's how football should be. It's very, it's great. It's an entertainment.
Yeah, I like it.
That's how it should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Really happy to see him in the Premier League.
Yeah, I saw Manchester. Yeah.
So, anything else you want to talk about, mate?
No, not really. I'm going to go and watch the match now. My favourite team, Liverpool, and see how they do.
It's already kicked off, 5 minutes or so in. So.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'll go and pick it up then. Thanks for today, Tris, and I shall see you next Thursday, mate.
See you next Thursday. Anyone who's listening, see you next Thursday, Billy. Take care.
Okay, ta-ra, Tris, mate. Ta-ra.